Hi, thank you for joining me again. If you like my videos and you haven't yet subscribed, please subscribe because it really does help me to get more of my videos out there or to share them with people you think might find them interesting to listen to as well. Um, so I noticed the other day when someone was contacting me and they wanted help, um, but the one thing they weren't able to do was to be accountable for themselves. So I could see what they wanted. They wanted help, but they just wanted somebody else to fix everything for them. And I know we all want that really, because isn't it, wouldn't it be so much easier if someone else could just come along, fix stuff up and then go away again, and we didn't have to do all the hard work. Because I know I've been in that situation myself, and it's like we will try to find the easy way out of everything because it's so, when you start looking at thing, oh my God, I'm going to have to go deeper into this and I'm going to have to bring up some stuff from the past, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to deal with that. So just tell me the answers. It's a little bit like being in school, isn't it? Like, I don't want to learn the whole subject. Can you just give me the answers at the end for the test, please? Can I just have the answers? We don't, we are, as human beings, we're all like that. We just want the easy way out. And we can't make change happen until we are ready to look at stuff inside ourselves. And I remember years ago, another spiritual lady said to me, she saw me holding on to so much anger. And when she said that to me, I thought, what are you talking about? I have to be the least angry person you'd ever meet. I don't go off about anything. You can just ask my kids. I never yell. I never go off. I never get upset about things. I'm just cool, calm, and collected. So I'm thinking, why is she saying I'm angry? And it kind of annoyed me that she said I had so much anger in me. And so at the time, I just dismissed it, and I thought, oh, well, maybe she's the one holding on to the anger, and she's saying, maybe she's just a negative person. And then there was other times in my life where I would do something and I know it was destructive to myself, yet I still didn't stop doing it. And that especially was when I'd come home from work and I used to have a drink. Like, I'd have a really busy day, because I've had years of, like, I would not drink alcohol and then I would get back into drinking alcohol and then I would not drink it again. And I mean, like, the whole time I'm pregnant and with babies, I was never drinking alcohol. But then, when the kids got older and things got a bit stressful, I'd go and grab a glass of wine, and then I'd have two glasses of wine, and the next minute the bottle's gone. And I'd sit there thinking, why am I drinking that? Like, I knew it wasn't good for me, yet I still did it. I just knew it wasn't good for me, but I was doing it. And there was this whole period of my life where I was doing things and there was something on my inside. My higher self was saying, this isn't you. This isn't good for you. This isn't your path. And I knew it, but I couldn't stop. My ego just wouldn't let me stop doing it. Because if I stopped doing it, I would have to deal with what I was hiding. And I wasn't ready to deal with it. And I totally get it. And see, once I dealt with it and said, and dealt with and let stuff come up, I realized there was anger. That lady was right. I really did. I was holding on to anger from so long ago and had just totally dismissed it and didn't want to bring it up. And then once I got to that point where I thought, okay, I'm going to deal with this stuff. I'm going to meditate on it. I'm going to use the tools that are available. EFT tapping worked absolutely wonderful for me. Whenever I've got something that I want to bring up, if I do the tapping technique, tapping the points, if I do that, that really works for me. It doesn't work for everyone. Different things will work for different people. And questioning myself. So asking myself, why am I feeling like this? And then allowing it to come up. But then the biggest thing was when I allowed something to come up, don't judge it like it's wrong or like I'm embarrassed. Oh my God, I'm embarrassed that I used to drink alcohol. I couldn't control my habits. And I was embarrassed to tell other people, or if other people saw me in that way, I was embarrassed, or it was the whole judgment thing. Like, well, if they judge me, am I a failure? And that sort of comes from childhood, on the pressure of having everything had to be perfect. Growing up where I had parents where they expected me to be perfectly behaved, and it was more like an embarrassment for I'm not fitting into the mold that everybody expects of me. And that was the fear that stopped me from looking into myself. But once I got to that point of really, really looking into myself and working with those feelings and understanding myself on such a deeper level, everything else, like all the other the things I used to use to mask it, all just went away. I haven't had an alcoholic drink in 4 years and don't miss it at all. I don't do the things I used to do and do not miss them at all. I don't miss toxic people around me. I just don't miss any of it. I don't miss any of that at all, because I've dealt with so much that I had to deal with on my own. I had to go into that space on my own and deal with it. And so I noticed last week when I had a lady, she wanted some help, and she wrote to me and told me all the horrible things that had happened to her in her life. And they were horrible things, that she'd been in situations that, you just wouldn't want to be in. But she was stuck in the situations. She has molded her life to who she is today from those situations. And she just wanted somebody to fix it. She wanted me to send her healing and just fix it. Now, I can send healing to anybody, but if they're not ready to receive it, it will do nothing. I might as well just send it to a brick wall. I might as well be talking to a brick wall. I can't, like, when someone buys a reading and they're asking certain questions, and Spirit is speaking through me and giving them advice on how they can make it better, if they choose to not take that advice and still do it the same old way, it's not going to change. So then they think, oh, well, the reading was wrong. Like, that didn't happen. It's kind of like it's all out there for you to have, but you have to want to change things about yourself first. And if you're not in that space of being ready to change, it won't happen now, but it'll happen later. There's always going to come a point in your life where you're ready for the change. It just might not be now. And I see this a lot with when I offer, like, because I did Key Force healing, which is similar to Reiki. It was something that was developed back in the 80s. And so I've got my certificates up there. I've done courses in Key Force healing, which is using my body as a channel to bring energy in from source through me, through my heart chakra, and then into the body of somebody. And I can do it remotely, or I can do it with someone in front of me. And my kids will always say, oh, Mum, can you do that Key Force stuff on me? Before they'll go and grab a Panadol or grab something else, they ask for the energy healing because they know it benefits and they believe it and it works for them. But quite often I will say to someone, would you like me to do some healing on you? And they say, no, I'll just do what the doctor says first, and I'll just stay on the painkillers first, and I'll just do this first. They don't want it, and that's fine by me, absolutely fine. You know, medical stuff is great. We really, really need it, but you know, you could be open to having many different types of healing modalities. So if someone just says no, I offer it, and if they say no, that's fine. I won't give it. You do the path that you want to take. I don't judge them for taking that path. That's just where they're at. But then I find, like, later, years later, even sometimes, I've had people come back to me, they've gone down every other path possible and still got the same problem, still got the same health problem 20 years later. And then they'll come to me, and then they're ready, and then they'll say, can you do that healing thing on me? And I'll do it on them, and it shifts, it helps to shift energy. And from that energy shifting, it brings up that emotion that's been trapped in the body for so long that nothing else was going to shift until they were ready to shift it. And when they were ready to shift it, it healed. And, you know, you can see this a lot with people when they comment. You see comments, and I can do a post or a story about something. And then when the comments is always about, yeah, they did this to me. Oh, that was their fault. When you see anybody that will not be accountable for anything that they did, they're just going to be stuck there. We have to be accountable for ourselves. We're not perfect. None of us are perfect. Don't think for a moment that you're the only person that's right and everyone around you is wrong. Everything everyone else has done around you has been wrong. They've wronged you. You're just the victim. If you stay in that victim mode, you'll be there for the rest of your life, and it'll continue to happen. You'll still be a victim, because you'll still attract people that will hurt you, because that's your role. You've labeled yourself as a victim, and you're keeping yourself in that frequency of a victim. So no matter what you do in life, you'll keep coming across people that treat you badly so that you can stay as a victim. And if you're not ready, if you're not ready to get out of that phase, that is totally up to you. But asking people for help and then not expecting to do any work yourself is not going to get anywhere. I couldn't go into the local gym and say to the weightlifters in there, right, in 6 months' time, I want to have the most toned body and be really, really fit, but I don't want to do any work. Can you just make that happen for me? Impossible. It's the same with your mind. You have to do the work yourself. You have to be willing to go, okay, I'm going to deal with this, and I'm going to face things that I don't like about myself. I'm going to actually look at what I don't like about myself, but rather than judge it, work out where that came from. Why do I think like that? Why am I embarrassed about something? Why am I scared? Why am I worried about the judgment of other people? Work on those questions, and then the more you sort of start healing on those questions, the more it starts clearing, and then you feel free. You feel really, really free, because as you move on through the future, you can be vulnerable, and it doesn't matter, because you can tell someone something about yourself, and if they make a judgment about you, it doesn't matter, because you'll see it as that's them judging is their issue. It's not mine. It just shifts the whole perspective from, you see, when other people are reflecting things, you start to see that that's their issue, and then you know your own issues. So yeah, I know it would be so much easier if we could just, have a quick fix. And I can also see when I'm doing a reading, and I start, and let's say someone's given me 3 questions for reading. I can look at the 3 questions, and I can feel spirit say to me, okay, we're just going to give them a straight answer to those questions. That's all they want. The spirit knows exactly what they want, and spirit knows exactly what they're not ready for. And then another person can ask 3 questions, and spirit will go, okay, give them an answer to the question, but give them something else to help them see why they're asking that question, because they're ready. They're ready to go to that next level of understanding themselves a bit deeper. And then you get, as like I've seen clients go from from 20 years ago asking me such a basic question like I don't know, am I going to move house? And then 20 years later they're asking me a question like how is this spiritual development going within me? Like their questions are totally different because they've expanded. They've expanded in awareness, in consciousness, in spiritual growth. And then other people are still asking me the same kind of questions 20 years later because it's a choice of expanding or not. It's the same with conversations. You'll notice this when you become very, very more like spiritually aware and you are deeper in your thought. If you're sitting around somebody who's talking about maybe they're just gossiping about other people, or they're whinging about people in the workplace, or they've got a problem with a partner and they're arguing, and when you're sitting there listening to them, it becomes kind of like, why are we even talking about this? Like this is boring on my level. It just becomes, but because you're a kind and nice person, you listen still, but it's boring. It's like, I want to talk deep. I want to get deep in my conversation. I want to talk about, like deeper stuff and why people do things and what do you think's going on in the world. And you just search and search for that deep conversation. And in the end, you can't find that deep conversation, so you end up just being alone and talking to guides, because then you get the deep conversation. But you'll understand what I'm talking about when the deeper you get and the more you've cleared stuff out, the less drama that you have in your life and everything's just calm. The types of conversations that you have, they're either on a level of boring or stimulating. Like, it's so good when you meet other people that can talk on a high spiritual level, because it's stimulating and it gets you thinking more and it gets you being more creative in your own world, rather than when you're listening to another conversation you're like, that doesn't mean anything to me anymore. But you were there once you were there where they are. It's not like you're better than anyone else or higher or above. You just think differently now. And what used to be entertaining is no longer. And yet if you've got family or friends that are still on that level and you've risen up and they still want you because they miss that chatter, but you can't do it anymore. Because you're wanting them to come over here, but they're not ready. They're not ready to come over here yet. So it's important to just understand yourself. Like, okay, so you can say to yourself, look, I'm not ready to face this about myself. I'm not ready to admit something about myself. I'm not ready to stop any bad habits at the moment. And I'm scared of the emotions that I'm going to trigger if I bring this up. So I'm just going to I'm either going to leave it suppressed where it is, or I'm going to get ready and start working on it. That is purely your choice. And I've spoken to a couple of people, they have kind of reached out for help, and I've said to them, I'm here to help, but you have to be ready to help yourself as well. And they've thought about it, and then they've gone, nah, I'm not ready to help myself yet. I'll wait. And that's okay. You just go, and when you're ready to help yourself, I will work with you together, and we can help shift stuff. So yeah, ask yourself those questions. Are you ready? Are you ready to be accountable for yourself? Are you ready to help yourself? Or is it not your time yet? Are you not quite ready yet, and you'll just stay doing what you were doing? So thank you for listening to me again, and have a lovely day.